Right, guys, we're back with episode 55 of the HYPEWORKS podcast. Myself, Alex.
Jake.
And today we've got joining us Scott Desgrosseilliers. Did I say that right, Scott?
Beautiful, man.
Butchered it, right? It's really cool to have you, Scott. We did a little bit of background research on you, and we'll kind of go into it a little bit. But can you just give us like a little overview of kind of what you're doing right now, and then we can kind of work our way back later.
Sure. I'm the founder and CEO of Wicked Reports. We provide marketing attribution platforms to e-commerce advertisers, 5 million to 50 million in revenue being our sweet spot, although we have those smaller and bigger, and the agencies that support them. We've been in this game for a long time, about 10 years. So I've created a framework around how to think about marketing attribution and measurement, how to actually make it useful, which we thought might be a tagline, make attribution useful, because a lot of times it's just a big pile of spreadsheet numbers that don't match other numbers that people don't act on. So we spend years worrying and fixing, how do you turn this into tangible results for your business? So that's what I do.
Did you actually work in e-commerce yourself, or like what's the passion for e-com and attribution?
So the original passion is that I've always loved solving puzzles using data. I think my parents thought I was going to be a degenerate gambler because I used to go to these little horse tracks in Maine when I was like 15 because I liked seeing the program of the horse races and all the stats and trying to predict who was going to win. I mean, yeah, it was fun to gamble too, but it was like $2 bets.
Did you see that movie Rounders?
Oh, yeah.
One of my favorite movies. Have you seen that, Jake?
I was in online poker like way before it was legal too. I was way
so good. Matt Damon and Ed Norton.
Yeah, it was awesome. Oh, I was always into doing that. And so I happened to be running the databases at apartments.com at the time. It's like 2013 or something. And a friend of mine was selling lobsters online, which he still is. And he's like, Facebook's terrible for lobster. I said, what do you mean? He said, I spent my whole budget, $4,000. I only made one sale. I'm never going to do that again. I was like, geez, it seems like, you're some random lobster guy, maybe they just needed a couple days. So they bought, I don't know. And he was really good at emails. Like he used to write them all himself, and he just wrote these phenomenal emails. They were fun, and I don't know, he just had a knack for it. So I go, well, what if they buy off one of your great emails? He's like, I don't know. So I tried to find something. This was, 2014. There was nothing at the time to track results of anything for anything, really. It was really like Wild West back then. So I hacked up this idea and we tried it out, and we found out that he broke even in the month he spent his next $4,000, or he spent $10,000 the next time. But if we waited 3 months, he actually made almost 10 to 1 on his money. So it was all spreadsheets. It was like 2013 or 14. And then this light bulb went off in his head. Right there, that thing we track then still exists now, this lag or delay from your advertising impression and click until you get the true return on the ad spend. There's a lag. People try to get, there's immediate return, but people still do a lot of lifetime value back to the ad. And that took off. I mean, I did that. I told some guy at Infusionsoft, now called Keep. No, now they're bought. It was used to be called Infusionsoft, was a big deal. Now it doesn't exist. And they had a mastermind, and I got on there and presented this like crazy bunch of spreadsheets and just talked about it. And I was like besieged with interest. And then I was trying to maintain it all, and it was a big pain in the ass. So I was like, I need a database. And so I wrote a database, and I was like, man, I need this and this. And also I was like, I think I might have a business here. And so I tried it out, and turns out I did.
Where did you get the Wicked name from?
Well, it's a New England thing, a Maine thing, really. Oh, in Maine, it's better. There's something that could be good, and then something that could be very good, but then something that could be wicked good. And so wicked good is like above very good. It's like, so I was like, I don't want to just call it like data reports or something like lame, but at the same time I needed, I don't know. And I was like, well, I don't want to launch these reports and have them be lame. I mean, of course, no one would, right? I want to be wicked good reports. So I just shortened it to wicked reports.
Cool story. And so basically are you a software developer, like technical guy, or how did you put together the product itself?
Originally, my background is I was anything with databases was just like, it's like a natural language to me. I just was really fast at just hearing someone talk about something and turning it into a data model, figuring out how to do it was just really fast and easy. And then I also used to manage IT projects at Motorola. So I was an IT manager and a database guy. Now I don't do either. And I don't even have the database software on my computer. Haven't for like 5, 6 years, which is weird for me. But yeah, I was pure technical, and then just had to like evolve the role as it happened, hire in others to do stuff and all that scaling stuff. That's sometimes fun, sometimes just not fun. Depends.
We got to ask the question, Alex. You know, we avoid it every week now, Scott, to not talk about AI in this conversation, but we're talking about databases, so it'd kind of be rude not to talk about AI. So the first thing that pops into my head is, have you updated your stack? I mean, are you building these data models on the cloud now? And if so, are you running API calls or housing any kind of AI to analyze the data? How's the model evolved from 2014? Fast forward 11 years. Are you implementing any of the latest technology?
Yes, yes to all of that. So we have a ton of APIs in and out. We use about 80 different Amazon services, it feels like, to help coordinate everything. Because there's a lot of logic that goes into attributing or credit. Because like you don't always know when a click comes in who it is. You often don't. And then you find out later on in their journey with that brand. And then when you do, you can go back in time, well, we can anyway, and reverse engineer what the journey was to get to the sale or to show up in the CRM. So there's a lot of tech there. AI specifically, when I first started come out and we were uploading, I was testing out uploading CSVs, it just makes stuff up all the time. It was like bad. And it was so sure of itself. I was like, man, this device looks great. And it was total shit. And then I was like, okay. And then the model got somewhat better, but not like brilliant. It's not like brilliant, but it's not bad. But it would be like bland advice, kind of blandish, like spend more on prospecting, like big friggin' deal. So we had to I spent 8, 9 months training AI. So I feel like we have our own little private cloud with Amazon for it. So what I figured out was that AI doesn't understand time very well. It's almost like the movie Memento. I don't know if you ever saw that. Guy Pearce, the Australian there. It was like it wouldn't understand time. It was one problem. So like if it tells you to do something correctly and you do it, it's like you cut your ad budget. It says this ad stinks, and you cut your ad budget. Or this ad's great. Raise your money. You raise your money, and then the very next day, just by normally in scaling ads, the next day because you raised your budget, well, it takes a couple days to digest the budget. So the next day's numbers don't look as good because you're spending more, but the clicks the next day take a couple days to buy. So your cost to acquire the next day goes up. So then the next day, the AI will say, lower your budget. And you're like, you just told me to raise it. Why are you telling me to lower it? And it would whipsaw all the time. So we had to train it on how to understand time, which was a huge pain. And then the other times it would just riff on, it wouldn't listen to trained industry standard attribution because it's a very technical field. Like there's a lot of different ways to measure something and a lot of different clicks you're going to ignore, you're going to include. So we had to train it on all that stuff too. And then we had to make it interesting, exciting. So then I was like, Jesus, next thing I knew, I had trained up. It was basically a whole course. I actually launched a course called 5forces.com because as I got training the AI more and more, and then I realized, geez, the customers have to do a lot to get value out of attribution. It's a pain. And so now the AI actually distills it down to one word: scale, kill, or chill. You're either going to spend more, you're going to stop spending, or you're going to chill out, which chill is a good thing, right? You're like, hey, one less thing I got to worry about or do. I can just like let the money roll. So that whole journey with the AI taught me it's a really powerful tool, but it's not this silver bullet that it's not like AI can figure out everything that you can't figure out, or it's going to be, oh, I looked at all your clicks and this is all you need to do. It's just not there yet. I don't know if it will be. I think with AI, a tricky thing is that people think, oh, it's a better technology, all the problems are going to get solved. Back in my day, I mean, I'm going to be 54 next week. Back in my day, like we didn't have cell phones, computers. When those came in, everything was going to be great. It was going to be awesome. I wouldn't say everything's all awesome right now in society. And we have all this internet, all these things to do easier. So it's not like AI is going to make everything magically better. I mean, it's helpful, but
Think context and workflow design is something that are often overlooked in the application of AI. I'm not sure if you know what models you're using or how. Like, I'm really intrigued. Do you?
I don't want to share which specific version because it's the only one that when you upgrade, oh, this one's better. You get worse results often, not always, depends on the task. Like the upgraded models now are greater for the deep research and stuff, but on some of the things we wanted it to do, it didn't interpret the instructions as well as a lower version. It's almost like you got a succession of kings, and then suddenly a prince come along that's like a dud, and then the country goes into repair. Like each version is an exponentially greater, always in terms of the business outcome it's delivering from the process you defined and worked with it. So we're very skittish about changing versions of LLMs because it just goes loony sometimes.
Yeah. I don't know. I have my own preferences. But again, the right model for the right task, completely
Yes.
agree with that. Yeah.
Yep.
How do you balance the creative with the attribution side, Scott? So like talk to us about like creative in general. Like, is that something is kind of an afterthought, or is it kind of really important still for like attribution, like ads?
It's important. So we measure down to the ad level all of our different attribution models. And in general, almost always, different creative is going to work based on top, middle, or bottom of the funnel, just generally. You're not getting all the little other niches within there. So, and then when our AI, this relates to the AI, but also the methodology we train people, they don't need AI, but AI makes it easier. If you have issues like you're not hitting your target return on ad spend or your target new customer acquisition costs, it's usually either traffic, creative, offer, or budget. It's usually one of those areas. And so we let the data help guide you to where the issue is. Because I mean, like, for example, if you're not getting a high enough conversion rate, it's a creative or an offer issue. And then you can look in those measures to see, okay, do I got to worry about my creative or do I got to worry about or is it the offer itself? Because sometimes people will blame it on creative and it's the offer is the issue. Like you're offering a shit SKU. When you're trying to find a new customer, there's certain SKUs in your past. If you're already a successful ecom brand, 5 million plus, you've already acquired like 100,000 customers or something, or 10,000. Well, there's already 3 SKUs out of your 80 that you're running that are the best ones for lifetime value and speed to first acquisition and AOV that gets enough throughput so that you're not, losing your shirt on the first sale. And so it could be you're just offering them your high ticket item or the algorithm like to middle. You said, oh, let the algorithm, Andromeda is going to figure it out. And it's throwing out the middle, a SKU that doesn't convert for new customers. We can talk about the meta algorithm and all their AI bias. It's a whole episode right there.
I have a point because I had this advertisement, I had this ad set the other day. Actually, I was running 4 different ad sets and, each with 3 creatives at the ad level. So just to explain viewers that are not in advertising, I was running one campaign that had 4 different target audiences that were broken into different ad sets and then 3 creatives per ad set. So if that's 4 times 3, that's 12 ads, okay, but 4 different target groups. And it told me to combine the audiences at the ad set level to get their Facebook meta algorithm told me to do that. And I did it and everything went down. The conversion rate went down, the cost went up. Do you face these issues? Should I listen to Meta and their algorithms?
So sometimes, what happens is so I used to go back to these like invite only events I was a Google partner, I still am at Meta, and you go to these fancy ones and they'd be talking to, when they're training their models, like, I don't know all the ins and outs of it all lately, but what would happen back then is like, they'd have like a household name brand up there, raving away how great it was. And they would be spending $1 million a week and have like programmatic creating the campaign. So they have so many SKUs and like they already had so much brand awareness too. They're like, oh, everyone knows this brand. And it's like they're training their algorithms on all this data. But when you're like not a household name, which is the vast majority of brands out there, You got to approach things in a way that works for you, not a way that works on what big data says. And in particular with Meta, their bias is really towards retargeting because the algorithm says, I need to get as many sales as I can. So in order to do that, I need a conversion within an hour. Why do they need a conversion within an hour? Because they're optimizing near real time. But if you're a household, if you're a non-household brand, you're not converting an unknown person in an hour. I'm not sitting there on Facebook, wasting time, and I see what is it you're selling? What are you guys selling?
Well,
You
we
can't say
selling agency.
Alex,
oh,
sell yourself. Sell
advertising
yourself.
agency. So I'm scrolling through, and I'm cold traffic. I'm your top of the funnel, and I see your agency ad for the very first time. I'm not going to say, "Hey guys, I'll come spend 10 grand on a month on a retainer." Like I'm just getting started in the journey. But Andromeda says, oh, well, that intro ad didn't turn into a sales conversion, or whatever your conversion event was. You have to set it accurately for top of the funnel. You got to choose a kind of a basic lame signal. It's like, oh, well, this one at the bottom of the funnel has sold 10 things in a week. I don't know why he's not showing this one more. We're going to show this one to everyone. And it could have been because they already saw your case study, saw your, hey, we're Alex and Jake. Here's our agency video, whatever, the 3 or 4 steps. And so that's why the model steers you wrong because it's trained on speed to conversion and not reality of the journey.
I actually suffered that, but the context, you're absolutely right. But
nice.
The context is slightly different, so I'll tell you a bit more. I'll get my free consultancy while we're on the podcast, but effectively, I was selling a new style of business that I'm kind of side testing, validating this offer. And it's almost like an outsourcing business because I actually do integration, like platform integration on API orchestration, basically. And I was outsourcing.
I actually might be a customer. We have like 4 integrations behind what we want to do.
Maybe we'll solve the conversion.
That's why I got on the podcast as a lead. I might be. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
Okay, so have you heard, this is Alex, like, have you heard of make.com?
No,
have you heard of NA?
It's a 4-letter domain. No, I could go type it in, but no.
Okay, yeah, well, it's what this is. It's actually been purchased by a company in New York, but it started life as a piece of software that came from Prague, and it was purchased by a data process mining company. And what it is an automation technology where you can integrate all of your different business through the APIs onto what we call an orchestration layer, an API layer. But it's simple, drag and drop UX, very little code involved.
It's like a Zapier, much faster and more technical.
Yeah, much more technical, more flexible, integrate AI, create agents, all kinds of stuff. Everything from Salesforce to Instagram can integrate in it. And anyway, this isn't solving my funnel conversion problem, but effectively I was running an offer with a lead generation form, and I added more fields as the problem occurred because the quality of lead that I was getting was just low. Like I had interest, but I kept like building the funnel full of leads of people with low intent but high interest. And then obviously when they get to the conversation, it's like, no, I'm interested. I saw your ad. It's interesting to me, but I'm not even bothered actually. I'm just exploring. I was just interested. So I filled out your form. And I got loads of that.
Who has time to just waste time learning? Go Google it. Why do they need to get the sales?
ChatGPT.
Entrepreneurs. So you want to screen out the entrepreneurs.
Basically, I think you need to look at my ads now.
Well, I think the more before we get to the data approach, more forms, because if you get the burning pain point, you'll suffer through a longer form.
Yeah.
But less quantity. So what was happening was Facebook wants to push the less forms because it has more quantity.
Well, initially, I didn't have as many fields in the form, okay, and then I noticed that the quality of data was kind of bad. Like the lead that was coming in was just low, so I added more fields to the form, thinking we'll weed out people that have real intent, real interest by making them fill out more, which kind of happened. It slowed down, but then it came up with the integrate, sorry, not integrate, like amalgamate all of those different ad
Oh,
sets, which was bad. So then I had to restart a new campaign with the new lead form. And then still I felt that the quality was a little bit better, but the intent of the buyer was still too low to be able to then qualify that. And I thought, oh, I'm just going to have to add more people, more fields into this form, and probably find a way to improve the targeting to a qualified group. But the issue is that because I had all of those interest, that set of interest behavior, I couldn't really distinguish because they were all those behaviors were in,
all
you
piled
know,
into one ad set.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's why I still like more the old school approach where you've got you're not relying completely on the machine, because otherwise you get what you get.
That's exactly right.
And so what happens is that, so the ad platforms, I've seen them all do this behind the scenes. They get some success with a couple monster brands, but these people have such data flying in, or it's like a super broad product like a Yeti
Nike,
mug,
like Nike or something, yeah.
Nike, something everyone needs. And then, yeah, you can go mega broad and who cares? If it's a food product, maybe you can go really broad. And then they
But
run
I mean,
around and go, hey, this is the blueprint, and they're sponsoring it. And it's like, then a brand that actually needs to know who the hell's clicking on their ads
so
and that
if
they're
if we
quality. It's like,
if we zoom out a bit, then so basically Meta and Google, they need guys like you, like software companies and agencies, to keep the ecosystem humming, right? But at the same time, what you're saying is they're kind of like using AI and automation to kind of increase their profits, right? So it feels like there's like some kind of like death match between the agencies and software providers and the brands directly buying on the platform. Is that where we are?
well,
Like,
there is, because Andromeda, Meta's goal was you hear it both ways. They have agency events where they support the agencies, and then you hear they're building tools so you don't need an agency. So which one is it? They're kind of doing both. I can't speak to what their real strategy is, so I'm not sure, but it seems like you're either on one side or another. I don't know. Like, I'm from Maine. It's usually pretty black
yeah.
and white. You're with us or you're against us, you know?
Are you concerned about the AI overviews, like people not like clicking ads and stuff?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, ChatGPT has hired up a bunch of people to run an ad platform. So then I don't know if they're still going to share what they're going to share or how that's going to work. It's still to be determined. And plus, whatever they first release or what it ends up being is different. But they've hired a bunch of ad people from past from Google and Facebook and other places. That seems to be the plan. But yeah, no, I mean, less clicks is never good for clarity, because then you got to get into black box. So we're really against black box attribution unless we gun to our head and you have to do it. I like our stuff's all transparent. We show the clicks, the click time, what they clicked on. We show the lead when they opted in, re-opted in, was it new? We're very psychotic about whether something was really new, cold traffic or not. And then
Yeah,
when
I
we
mean
set
that's competitive advantage for you, right? The fact that you're presenting people like all this information, like
yeah. And so,
yeah,
but to your point, so like we always base it on a click because that's a higher signal that you can trust. It's not that this views aren't, and then we bring in view data in Meta, but we allow you to mute the impact. We say Meta says you had here's all your click revenue that we know is true, not Meta's optimistic point of view. Meta also claims all this view credit. Some of it's true, but not. You can just on the fly change how much you want it to count. And so I recommend half, because there's certainly some views that matter. Particularly if you have video funnel, then the view is certainly sometimes a conversion, and how close or far it is from the conversion. But we allow it in there, but we don't take it verbatim. So the less click data and the more things we have to infer, then we got to get more like technical about it. Like, okay, well, we don't have all this click data. So let's just say a year from now, like clicks drop 50%. Well, we pull in all the view data and then we look at where did someone close on brand, email, SMS, organic, or direct. You're not a household brand, so it had to come from somewhere. So in those sales that we don't have paid clicks, we'll go look at the ad platforms all clawing and claiming all the credit, and we'll deduce who really deserves credit for you. That's what we've been cooking up. It's called the
Okay.
halo effect, incrementality, marketing mix modeling. That's what the big guys need when you're on TV and you got billboards and you got storefront. You can't get click traffic, right? So you got to infer. So like if AI suddenly means no clicks, we'd have to go down that path reluctantly because then it's still like not 100%.
I have one question. Do you build the ad sets yourself, or do you just extract the data in terms of you as an agency business?
So we're software. We don't compete. Agencies are our customers.
Right.
We don't compete with the agencies. We support them. We specifically don't do media buying because we don't want to be like Facebook on both sides of the fence. This
Okay.
agency's not doing well. Come use us. And people be like, why the hell are we going to use you guys then? No, so we specifically stay out of services. We try to just help the service businesses.
Okay, so you tell the media buyer, reduce
Scale
the amount of
search, yeah.
interest-based targeting in the ad set, split it up, be more old school, don't trust Facebook.
Well, it's occasionally we have a big enough brand that you should completely trust them. In some cases, it depends because you got to get your signal right. So instead of just throwing up Cappy and saying, okay, I'm going to let Facebook just magically figure out from all these sales who to target, it always biases to retargeting because they're faster, quicker conversions, and that's what the algorithm knows it should do. So what you need to do is send signals for just new customers versus repeat at a minimum, or new customers of specific SKUs if you have a specific upsell sequence. And then you have your ad set conversion action at the top of the funnel, one of your new customer. You say, this campaign's for new customers. I'm only going to have Meta look at the new customers that buy this SKU related to this, the ads for this ad set. I'm only going to tell it did a good job when it bought these. And then I'll go after some time, I'll retarget those people with this second SKU because I'll know they bought the first one and I'll only signal them to buy this second one. So you can get Meta on your side, but it's just more of a technical data game, not just I'm creative and I'm a smart marketer. You also need to have dialed in the signal.
Yeah. Okay, this isn't a meta bashing session.
No, it works. It works, but you've got to give this. So Meta, we track people make 2, 3, 5x over time, lifetime value on Meta for sure. But you got to signal it right so it gives you what you need to grow your top line revenue, not so the in-platform return on ad spend looks good. So yeah, I have been a little hard on Meta. You're right. Meta is 65% of the ad spend we're tracking is Meta, and people are successful on it. But they gotta be careful, or they're wasting money.
I got a question. I think a lot of our audience are founders and builders. Say they're going to put their first few ad dollars to work. Put you on the spot here. Let's pick a number like $10,000 to promote their e-com store or SaaS app. What should they do? At this time, 30th of October, 2025.
Well, I'd start with how we learned how we had to teach our AI. What's the goal with the 10 grand? Because
Goal
the goal
is to
how we're going to measure.
Yes, the goal is to get customers, not necessarily profitable ones, but just get customers.
Okay. New or repeat?
New.
Okay. So for new customer acquisition, I'd follow this process. First, I'd go look at my historical sales and see, or we have a report that does this, but if not, you could just do it yourself. It's just going to be a pain in the ass, but you could do it. Pull out all your customers, look at the top 20% of the best lifetime value, and figure out what they buy first. And if you needed multiple purchases to get to the lifetime value you need, then figure out what that product purchase journey is. Hopefully it's just one product because you only got 10 grand. It's probably just one. You're probably small. So you got one product, you say, okay, I got 10 things in my store, and SKU number 1 is what the majority of the best customers buy first. Go create a bunch of creative around the hooks around that. Set up a signal, a meta cappy that just pushes new customers in. So you have the signal of just new customers, and then create your targeting around. Then you take those customers, create you create obviously a lookalike among them, but I'd also go jam it in your AI positioning messaging tool of choice to get what do I need to focus on as my hooks. I'm not a great hook person. I'm a data guy. So I'd let data tell me the hooks. I don't know.
Let's just say it's a nail brand, like a nail brand. So
Nail
the
brand.
hook has to be
Okay.
young female
young
buyers.
female, and they look pretty.
Yeah,
I
New York girl, that kind of thing. Like,
got two daughters. Sephora's a expense item every month.
yeah, Urban Outfitters type thing. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And then she wanted Gratefully Yours, some 13-year-old
yeah.
YouTube girl and something with her makeup. And I was like, you're 9. We're not getting you makeup. She was obsessed. Like, we're not doing it. You're 9. It's
But
ridiculous.
no piercings, no piercings.
No. So you figure out your hooks creative based on the top 20% of the customers, not all of them. And then you got your hooks and creative. You've got the Facebook pipe that's going to do new customers. You got your lookalike audiences, and then you're going to run ads, just the creative around them, and you're going to use that conversion action. That's how I'd start. Now, the other thing is, do you have repeat buyers, and do they repeat buy within like 60-ish days? If so, because we need to know how much you can bid. So what you do is look at those top 20% and say, okay, how much are they worth in like 60 or 90 days? And let's just say they're worth $100. And on day 0, they're worth 60. So then you say, well, okay, can I live with paying $60 and breaking even because I already have my repeat purchase flows and ads set up? Can I set those up? So I'm going to hit 100 most likely by 90 days. And so then you raise your cost per action as high as you can get towards that 60, because you're gonna look at it 90-day value. Particularly as a no-name brand coming out of nowhere, you can't be trying to double your money on the first purchase. I mean, it might happen. Anything's possible. But I would take that approach because I've seen it work in some industries. We have beauty, but I saw like a supplement brand that would start spending when they were 0.4 ROAS, meaning they were only making 40 cents on the dollar, because they were a subscription brand and their subscriptions were good, their product was good, and people would stick. And they said, well, we're going to make triple 90 days. So if we are not even halfway break even, that means we're making profit in 30, more in 60, and killing it in 90. And they scaled to 9 figures because they were spending where the audience looked crap, because the algorithm was trying to convert people quick, and people running ads are like, I don't know how this brand can spend $80 on a customer. I mean, the product's only $60. How can they spend 80? It's because they were looking at 3-month lifetime value.
So Scott, how do you get into the psychology of a young founder? Say they've worked in corporate, they've got a lot of money, they've got a team together, they're really excited about their brand. How do you then tell them to slow down in terms of like the ad side? Like, what's the psychology there? How do you convince them?
Yeah, slow down. I mean, slow down with how much money they want to make on initial
Yeah,
AOV.
or just realize that this is a long game. Like, you can't just make money overnight, like with ads, essentially.
So we have a report called Benchmarks that was created to help the agencies do this, which is we use their own data against them, not against them, for their benefit. So we look at one way I like to model how long it takes people to convert is I pull out their CRM data and when they were created, pull out the first purchase data from like Stripe or Shopify, Woo, whatever. Cross match all the emails to find anyone that didn't buy day 0, how long did it take? And you'll have this, you just subtract the two, and some people will be 2 days and some people will be like 120 days. And you get that data together and show them, look at all these customers that bought. You show them, hey, see all these customers and what they're worth. Okay, none of them bought. They all took 45 days to buy. So like you stage it. And then they'll say, oh, geez. And you're like, okay, well, we have like 2,000 of your customers that all didn't buy on day 1. They all bought these extra days and they end up being worth, $400,000. And if you didn't know that, we wouldn't be spending here. So you start there with showing them their own data. And you get aligned on because you get aligned on the expectation. Why are you hiring us? I want new customers. What are you doing now? Oh, I'm trying to, make $20 every sale. Well, okay. Well, if you have a case study, it helps. But you say, well, we have a plan that we're going to measure. It's 30-day rolling. And then this is why, because the LTV and yada, yada. And you document and revisit the decision with the founder, because I'm a founder and I change my mind and freak out on the team. But if it's in my face that, hey, Scott, October 3rd, it's very important for new customers. You're hiring us for this. Our expertise says that we need to do 30 days. You can't look at it or touch it or whatever it is. Can you agree with this? Because we can only succeed if you can. and it may take 3 tries. So we need this 90-day guarantee or whatever. And you get them to like agree to it on a Zoom, but then you log it, and each status call, you kind of gently review it with them. Like, just as a reminder, the strategy, because founders forget, like I have like 9 meetings today. So I could get in and just see a number and be like, bullshit. Wait a minute. I'm only working on
Yeah.
this because you said.
And
So
there's
you
also
remind them.
there's like a penchant now in like especially young generation like Gen Alpha where they're trading crypto and they're on TikTok. They just want action, right? They want things to change and move. And ads are almost like stock market, right? You place a bet and it takes time for that to pay off. So yeah, I guess
Yeah.
that's a kind of a big challenge for you, right?
It is a challenge.
Yeah.
The lifetime value, it's kind of like save now versus spending it all at the club. Same stuff. But lifetime value is what makes the difference. I mean, we got, like we talk with Pinterest, and like their whole thing is the advertisers that are winning are the lifetime value focused advertisers. So it depends on the product. If you're selling like cell phone cases, yeah, that's just a quick thing. But any brands we're talking, the brands we usually, successful e-com brands that are 5 to 50 million generally have higher price stuff, $60 to $300, or they're doing furniture that's $2 to $5 grand to purchase, and they're having success. But it's because they're taking a 90-day view of things, not a
what let's go back to lobsters. What about the lobsters? How are they doing?
Lobsters is doing great.
Doing great.
Spending
Yeah.
like 60 grand a month on Facebook right now.
I know a guy in Hong Kong that sells lobsters to China. He's doing really well. Yeah, he imports them from
yeah, he was
Alaska
at
or
2 million.
somewhere.
Yeah, he was 2 million, and his business was just Groupon, which was this coupon site that doesn't even exist, or maybe it still does. And so he would have had no growth channel without that. It was massive. Facebook was massive.
Every time we talk about these lobsters, I think about there's a restaurant in Boston called the Barking Crab. Not sure if you've been, but I've been a few times. It just keeps coming through my head, so I had to throw that out there. Alex, we're approaching it, you know.
Yeah,
What
it's a great location for that. Barking Crab, great locale. Chowder's pretty good there for a downtown spot.
I've had some great times down there. Okay, it's the question. It's the final question. This throws everybody off. Everybody knows that audience all look forward to the question. Brace yourself, Scott.
I know what it is. Okay.
I know, but it's honestly, take a minute, okay? Take a deep breath in. It's coming. So the question is just really about future predictions. What you think is going to happen in the future? Could be life, could be business, could be the world. Future projections.
I think online's going to, I think experience is going to deteriorate because of all the fake, everything's going to be so fake and AI on there and bot driven that in-person connections are going to become way more important. In-person events, because you're not going to be able to trust what's real. Like I saw that, it was 6 months ago, and I saw this AI video where the people were at a car show interviewing, it was different hosts interviewing with different cars.
I saw that one, yeah.
The whole thing was fake.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I showed my friends who aren't as online as me. They all do like, more non-online jobs, I guess. And they were all couldn't believe it. And I was like, this is not even where it's going to be like, you're going to be able to say any person, you're going to be able to put them in any situation and make a video of it. Like, revenge porn in the worst case, killing someone or stealing or good things on the positive side, something altruistic. And it all could be fake or real. So you're going to have no way of knowing what's real until they figure that out. I think it's going to be a shit show until someone figures that out.
So you're going to have to go into billboards and offline then. You're going to have to get into all the offline stuff.
Or authenticated real website traffic. I guess if people are paying, it's real. So that's still going to hang around for a little while.
I think the nature of retail and e-commerce and the way in which we buy things is going to drastically change. Like, for example, if I wanted to buy anything, I probably will be at the point in the future where it's just like, well, we'll ask ChatGPT that's integrated into Walmart to buy me some butter. And at that point, there's no point in merchandisers in the Walmart store sort of positioning products, even in an in-store experience or even in an e-commerce environment to where that product should be positioned, because we're effectively leaning on the AI agent to pick for us at that point. So I think the whole nature of like advertising is going to change, where people are going to be advertising more within the language model to define the recommendation of product.
Yeah, I'm wondering. I mean, I guess, yeah, if it goes well, you're just going to offload more and more of your shopping tasks, I guess.
Yeah, well, it was you mentioned earlier that they're building, OpenAI are building some sort of ad platform, right? So it has, I'm thinking about that, and it's scary.
It is.
Let's get you on in a year, Scott, and see if it's there. Maybe it's there in a year, so we can talk about it then.
I mean, the moment it comes out, we're going to have to drop everything and build an integration. So there's been no public chatter yet about APIs and stuff, but
we'll be fine.
And
everything
Alex,
will be okay.
If we're in Boston, barking crab with Scott, right?
All right, let's do it.
That's happening, 100%. Where are you guys located right now? Where are you at right now?
Asia.
Parts unknown Asia. Wow, much cooler than Marblehead. I'm actually in Salem, Massachusetts right now. Day before Halloween. It's the Halloween capital of the world, literally. So there's so many just freaky sights. People come and it's the Super Bowl of Halloween. They look like just out of a Hollywood movie, but there's like thousands of them outside, like roaming around, because there's all these witch stores, spell stores, seance places, all this like voodoo-y stuff, like actual people that make their living as witches. It's a pretty weird spot.
Let's put it in the calendar for next year, Jake. We go there now, next year.
Come around in October. It's very unique.
Okay, cool.
All right, Scott. Cheers.
Thanks for having me. It was great.
Yeah, it was good to have you on.
Pleasure.
See you in a year. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
See you.